Hello friends, it's Astro here and welcome back. Oh, Prison Architect, how I have missed you. So guys, Update 14's been released, and I thought, well, you know, a lot of people liked my last couple of series of Prison Architect, so I thought maybe we'll do a new one. So maybe we'll try this out. So, Update 14 is pretty cool by the sound of it. This is basically, there was an announcement video which I'll put down into the comments below that the guys did explaining what's going on. But to sum it up, prisoners are much better at escaping the prison now. So what I want to try and do is build an escape-proof prison, or at least a prison that is going to be, you know, fairly safe and secure. I'm kind of tempted to go with Mr. Periwinkle here, because he's going to help us out with tunnel detection, which is at least one escape vector. I suppose we could look at Safara, Aknova, because she also helps us out with like contraband. So I'm assuming that, you know, the prisoners are going to be making ropes and stuff and doing that sort of thing. I'm not really... I'll tell you what. Let's go with Mr. Periwinkle. Let's go with a male... let's go with a male prison. Why not? We'll go medium. Have Fog of War on. We'll have some forest. That's cool. I don't want lakes and buildings and stuff, though. They always get a bit wonky. Failure conditions, definitely. We know that that's always fun. Let's have some gangs. Let's have some events. Let's have some weather and temperature. Let's have staff needs. What's this? Enables more escape options for prisoners. They will now attempt to climb over your walls when trying to escape. Yes, please. Unlimited funds, no. Unlimited and tools and cheats, no. Should we get some mutators up in here to get the danger zone, the good shit? Acid rain. I guess prisoners are more likely to try and dig their way. No. I mean, look, we might. Let's get fast walking, because I find that makes things just much more pleasant. Shortened sentences. Contraband scanners might be interesting. Metal detectors will be... Oh yeah, let's have that. Old school intake. No, thank you. And I guess... permanent day? Extra reputations? Burn the dead? No, thank you. Endless winter? Yeah, that could be fun. Alright, let's go for a Gulag. This is going to be J.W. Periwinkle's Gulag, where everything is frosty and cold. Weather and temperature's turned on, so with weather and temperature and the endless winter, this is going to be a frosty old prison, and we're going to have to watch our temperature very carefully. It should be fun. I think this should be good. Okay, ready? Let's go. Alright. Now, I mean, it's a fairly plain old map, this one. We've not got a lot sort of happening here. So first things first, let's go into, let's get rid of the CEO's letter. Thank you, delete. Let's change our prison intake to closed for now, so that we can get some stuff set up, and then we'll start getting some dudes in. So I think what we're well off doing is we'll start in the middle of the map. And this is just going to be a shed. Alright, usually you start right up against the road, but I want to start all the way over here and then build out so that the center of the prison becomes, I guess, the most secure place. Yeah? Yeah. Alright, so I guess what we probably do is we'll plan this out so that it's going to be able to do what we want it to do. So let's have a 23 by 23 thing here. This will be the yard. Oh, and we better take a grant or two. Oh, I need to get out of planning mode, apparently. No? Oh. Pressing the... What? What have I done? Have I forgotten how to play this game? I think I have. Grants. Oh, okay, cool. I thought you could click it up there. But anyway, basic detention center, which means we need a holding cell, a shower, a yard, a kitchen, a canteen, 2 guards, 2 cooks. Ding. An administration center, which means we need some officers. Dong. Good. That should do the trick. That should get us underway. It's given us a bit of cash money to get us started. So let's get to planning. So I'm going to plan this sucker out. I reckon center of prison here. And then over here, this is where we can have some offices. So we'll have like a 7x7 office block. Actually, we'll have a little corridor in between these, 7x7. And then another 2 down here. And that way we can expand up and down if we need to, but we'll seal those off for now. This can be the front door. Cool, no worries. We'll put a pumping station. I think the pumping station should be really central. Because if people are going to be tunneling, I don't want them to tunnel over to here because this is going to be insecure. And then we'll have a lovely big corridor that comes all the way back like this. Yep. Alright, so people come in. They're going to need a reception in here, aren't they? Well, I guess let's just do like this. So this room can be the reception. Right? And we'll massage these around a little bit. Then we can have, let's have that there. Reception here, corridor down, 7x7 offices down like this. Right? Boom, boom, boom. And then back on this end of town, we're going to need to have, let's see, we're going to need a canteen. So we'll make a big old canteen like this. About there. That should be big enough. And then on this bottom end, this is where we're going to have our holding cell, and we'll have a little shower in the corner here, like that. Right, so this can be the holding cell, like here. This can be the canteen, and then we'll have a big, long, thin kitchen next to that. But I want it to be... it's not going to be big enough, is it? Maybe I should build it on the top. Let's build it... Yeah, let's build it across the top here like this. Wow, okay, cool. So that can be the canteen. This can be a kitchen / that can extend downwards if need be. And then we can have utilities in here, like a power station and that sort of thing. Good. Good. Okay, and a huge big yard. That should be fun. Alright, so let's get started with planning out some foundations on this. We'll get some brick foundations down here. And we'll stretch that over to here. Up like this. And then across like this. We're going to need some brick walls around the yard. Just to make sure that people don't, stroll out into it and do what they need to do. And we're going to need a couple of big old jail doors floating about. So we'll have one here, connecting that corridor up. And another door here right at the front of the base. So this can be the entrance to the base at the front of the prison. I've been playing a lot of RimWorld recently, so, excuse me if I do say base. Old habits, eh? Well, not old habits. It's just a habit. It's a thing that I have gotten into the habit of saying. But, I don't think it really makes too much of a huge difference. So that should take care of those sort of bits and bobs. We're going to need to have a pumping station that's not easily breakoutable. And I think that what we can do, I'm pretty sure that you can put a pumping station outdoors, right? So there's no reason why we can't have the pumping station plonked right here. Okay, and that should be supplied with some electrical power from... Let's go in this room for the power station, yeah? And we'll need some brick walls in here as well. We can't do that yet. When this building completes, we'll pop some brick walls in to segregate that off and keep it secure, keep it safe. I've left, god dang it, auto lights. I always do that. But, oh look, these are fine. Running down the corridor like this, and there's 2 in each of these offices. Actually, that's not too bad. And 4 in each of these, that's not too bad. I can live with that. I would prefer to place my own lights. I don't know why, I just do. Old habits, I suppose. I've always placed my own lights in this game. just so that I can control where they go. So that they don't go into weird locations and then have to be removed when you want to place a whatchamajigger, a wall. Yeah. So when you place a wall, sometimes you'll have to remove a light, and then, God, it just gets awkward, because then you have to store it somewhere, and it just becomes a pain in the neck. Okay, so we've got some staff doors here just to close off these office areas. We've got our reception set and good to go here. The power station has just come online, which is great. Let's get our first capacitor down next to that, and let's cable up as much of this prison in as we can. So we'll get a cable that goes down like this, and then we'll run it all the way down to the front of the prison. That should cover most of what we need. We're going to run one of them directly, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that should be perfect. So let's run the cable straight up here, and then across into the canteen, and that should, and down to this. That should do the trick. We'll need some big water pipes at some point too, but right now, I don't think we need to super duper worry about that hugely. We'll just, we'll barrel along and see what we can come up with. Now, what I want for this area, I think, is for these rooms and stuff to all mainly, like, this can have a door here, and then that means that it's sealed off and people can't get in and mess with it. The kitchen and stuff, I want their access to be in via the yard. So people have to walk around in the yard, out in the freezing snow, and then get into the kitchen and the canteen that way. So let's have first of all, we'll place our yard down. That should be good. It's very easy. Requirements on that are basically just that it is a big square area. I mean, what are the requirements for yard? 5 by 5 and must be behind at least one door. So we're totally cool on that one so far. The utilities zone doesn't need to be contained or set up in any way, so that's fine. And then to get our canteen, we need that placed here. Let's get some materials set up so we can have our brick wall here, and then we're going to need some objects. Let's just use regular doors today. I think that should be fun. And I think we should be able to... Can we oh yeah, look. We'll have these lovely double doors in here. That's delightful. And then a staff door into the canteen, like this. Or should we put it... Maybe we should put it in here. No, we'll put it here. I'll stick with my original plan of... actually... Yeah, access to the... Yep. Alright, we're making decisions on the fly, guys. It's fun. So I'll put that door there, and that means that in order to get into the canteen, I'll move this door over to here. So let's go objects, staff door, right there. Can these be doubleized? No, they can't. See, when you rotate them, they still face the same way. That's a bit of a shame. So we'll pop that there. We'll fill in this wall here. And that way, staff members can get in here and go straight up into the canteen, and that should be fine. This section here is going to need some additional doors. We're going to need, I think just one should do the trick, so that the cooks can get out and put food into the canteen for the prisoners to eat. So that should be fine. Good. Okay. Now wait a minute. Oh, okay. So there's no lights in this area because by the time this room came online, I had already disabled auto lights on the thing. So we'll just splash some lights around. I want this to be nice and well lit. In the canteen too, let's have a bunch of lovely lights here, and here, and here, and this side, and down here in the end. Beautiful. Okay. So those rooms are now prepped. Oh man, this is great. This is coming along really nicely. Okay, so let's just mark out what our rooms are going to be. So let's have our... we've got a canteen already set up. we need a kitchen, which is where? Hold it, kitchen. Okay. So we'll have that set up here. Cool. So the guys can come in here and dump off stuff in the fridges and then cook it up and boopity boop. Right? And we might need to expand this canteen a bit north later on and, you know, that sort of thing. But should be right. For now, should be fine. Let's also grab some offices. So we'll set up just one hero office, which is where? It's hard to see it when it's lit up like that. So we're going to have one office here. So this can be the boss's office. And we're going to need some items for that. I'd like to get the reception set up as well, which would be... I really need to change the the res on this game. It's running at 1440p at the moment, and then, you know, it makes it a little bit difficult, but hopefully at this sort of res it's kind of nice for you because there's less stuff on the screen and you can see what's going on. Where is the reception? Am I going blind? Holding... reception. There it is. Okay, great. So we'll slap that in there like that. Great. Down this neck of the woods, we're going to have our holding cell, which is going to slot in like this. We're going to have a shower, which is just going to be a wee tiny baby shower. And we'll need to pad out the bits and bobs that we need for that. So let's do a door here, a jail door. Should we have a... We'll have a large jail door for the holding cell. Why not? We're going to need some lights in here because it is a little bit dingy at the moment. So let's get some lights stacked in like that. I like having bunk beds in my holding cell just so that I can store a few people in here. Store? That's probably not a nice thing to say. But I can have a few dudes in here if need be. You know, I don't intend for this to be a permanent solution for people. In fact, I'll probably, quite frankly, I'll probably tear it down in 5 minutes time, but I do like to have that sort of stuff just for RP purposes, right? So we'll have some showers, we'll have some drains, got a couple of toilets here. I think these guys would enjoy having a phone booth, and we're gonna need a bench as well. Always need a bench just as a... Oh, look at that, it fits perfectly. Hey, that's great. So you need... Yeah, the bench is the final thing. Is this not large enough? 5 by 5? Poo. Okay. Right. Well, didn't plan that very well, did we? Right. Okay. So, plan B, we need to rip out the shower. So, let's demolish walls. And let us remove this object, which is this door. And these objects here. And then rooms, we're going to clear this room. And then the holding cell should be able to stretch out, although there's still a blob of wall in the way, but that's okay. There it goes. Alright. Let's shuffle this around then, shall we? Objects. Let's dismantle these. And then we can build on... Let's just have another little cheeky room like this. And we'll have a door on the top here. So this can just be a nice little shower block that the boys will come and build up momentarily. We're going to need some water for this as well. So let's get some water down here. We're going to run the water in through here and then down through the walls. It's probably not a great idea to run a large pipe straight in like this, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Then we're going to need some small pipes down to these toilets, and then we'll put the showers on this side. And that should be good. We should probably consider getting a water boiler set up as well, just because of the fact that, well, we do have it set so that our prison requires heating, so may as well pop all of this in as well. and we're going to have, let's have a radiator just right in here. That room should be fine because of the power station keeping it warm. We can have a radiator here, and then we'll run our hot water pipes up and across like this, and then we can have radiators on the bottom end of this canteen. So that should be good. We'll have serving tables across the top, tables across the middle, a couple of radiators down the bottom. That's going to mean that we can probably pop our sinks along here, and then have rows of cookers and things down the bottom there. That should be great. Okay. So let's reshuffle this room here. Let's get a... first of all, we'll mark up the shower. That needs to go there. Then we're going to need... Oh, we only need a bench. But I'm going to put everything back in. I want to have those bits and bobs. I want to have my 2 bunk beds down on this side, right? Right up against the shower wall so that they can be sort of mildly damp and just slowly drive people insane. I think that's always fun. We'll have a little space between these 2 showers too, so people aren't sort of, you know, rubbing shoulders with one another while they're standing there naked. That'll probably be fairly pleasant. Or, I don't know, maybe it won't be. Maybe they do want it. I mean, maybe it's a more of a, you know, touchy-feely, friendly kind of prison instead of stay away from me, dude, I don't want to be rubbing butts with you while I'm having a shower. But you never know. We'll let these guys just sort of figure it out for themselves, I reckon. I think that's where... Was that where the pipe went to? It is. Good. And now we just need to slap our bench back in. And that can go right here next to the toilets. Right? So that when you're sitting on the bench and you go, ooh, ooh, I need to just drop a little bit of a, you know, drop the kids off. You can just slide straight off onto there. If there's already someone sitting on that one, then you just sort of pass over their lap and go onto this one. Should be totally fine. I'm sure people would love that. Right, let's get this kitchen spec'd up, because that's another thing that we need to get up and running before we can start bringing people in. And I think we're going to need, the way that I like to do it, just see if you guys like it as well. I like to have 2 cookers, like this, and then a fridge in between. And then they should connect up to power on this circuit here, which is... Why is there a gap there? Can we lay this down, guys? That kind of needs to all be powered as well. And this pumping station. Kind of important. All of this all needs to be powered. So the theory behind this is that when the food gets brought in, it'll get dumped straight onto the top of this fridge, and then the guys will grab the food and just sort of shuffle it straight onto the cookers, and it'll be much, much more efficient. Like the guys, the dudes don't have to walk as far, or ladies. They could be lady cooks. We're going to need to have a sink up the top here. So I think what I'll do, I'll rotate that like this, and that, oops, autosave moment there. And that way we can stack a couple down like this, so the dirty dishes can come in and just get dumped straight onto that. And we'll be good to go. We have run out of power though, so we'll have to get our power jacked up a little bit. Evidently adding that pumping station on was just a bridge too far, or maybe the cookers do use a fair bit of power as well. We are going to need to make multiple different circuits in this prison eventually, so this one I think should just power all of this and then down into here. Eventually we might sever the link here and make another power station on this end, just so that it's separated, and it reduces your risk of having a prison-wide blackout. And prison-wide blackouts, well, especially in this game where temperature is a big problem in the Gulag, we really do need to keep our temperature under control. So that should do the trick for our kitchen. Now I guess we need to figure out how our canteen's going to operate. So in here, we're going to need a serving table, and that I am going to put up here, right? And we can line these up along the top of the room. We're going to need some tables and benches, and I want to have those sort of stacked here like this. And then finally, we'll need, let's have a little bin, a cheeky bin here as well. Put the wheels back to the wall there like that, so people can put their rubbish in the bin. And we're going to need to have a, where is it? A radiator. And we'll pop that here next to the door. And this whole blob of stuff, we can just copy and paste that as we go along. But that should be enough to get us up and running. That's like a basic amount of people feeding ability that we now have, which is great. Cool. Okay, so that's that. Down here we've got this this office and reception to worry about. So let's get this office underway, and then we can hire our dudes. So objects, we'll pop a staff door on it. We're going to need a desk. I like having it facing this way. We'll have it facing this way. We'll have this dude so that he can sit here at his desk. We'll have a lovely big window behind him so he can just pivot around in his chair, even though it's not a pivotable chair. Look, it's got legs on it and everything. So we'll pop his chair down. He can have 2 additional chairs here so that people can come and sit and talk to him. And a cheeky filing cabinet in the corner here so that he can store all of his files and whatever else he wants to do. And I think that should do the trick for him. I think that should be all he really needs. Wait a minute. Yes, I've cabled down here. Why? Oh, that's right. Because we lost power. That's better. Good. Power's on. Water's flowing. Hot water is flowing as well, very importantly. And I think the next thing we're going to need to do is get power into this area. But I'll tell you what. Before we go any further, let's get old Mr. Periwinkle set up, and we can get him underway with figuring out how to hire someone. Right? At the moment, he's just figuring out how we are going to get a finance person to get into this prison and get us underway. So that should be, that's underway now, 3% through. The next thing we need to do, guards and cooks. Let's get this first detention center grant out of the way. So ready? Here we go. 2 guards, and they can come down into here. And then 2 cooks, and they can be up here. Lovely. Isn't that great? That's perfect. Stoked. Happy. Thrilled. This thing is starting to look like, I don't know, some kind of Klingon battle cruiser. Maybe I can have another wing off here, and this can be the this can be the front. Look, even the warden's up here in the bridge, and then we need the torpedo tube here so that we can. No, am I pushing this too far? Ah, well. Okay, so the warden's set up. He's doing his thing. We've completed our first grant. We got 27 grand lined up to kick us on with the next phase of this prison. So yeah, let's. I think, friends, I'll leave you there. We'll come back next episode and figure out what to do with this and start planning out the next steps of the Gulag. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye.